Hello everyone, this is Amy Regenstreif. My whole joy in doing this video with Casey Eberhart, my dear friend, business mentor, is I want to leave a legacy. I'm a stage 4 cancer patient for over 10 years. I have a very rare cancer called retroperitoneal leiomyosarcoma. I've had 20 surgeries, I've had all kinds of stuff go on. In the middle of that, I actually started a couple of businesses. I'm an agent at New York Life Insurance Company. I would send out cards. And it's been very important to me to teach people really how to leave a legacy no matter where they are in their lives. In cancer survivorship, or what I call thrivership, you know, you go into a cancer center or you go to a place like the wellness community or wherever you show up, and most people are telling you, you know, go to yoga, go to acupuncture, go smoke some pot, go do some chemo, go have a surgery. Yeah, go live your life.
Sounds kind of fun to me. I don't know about
right?
you.
I know. They're telling you to do a million things. And the most neglected part of cancer survivorship or thrivership is that nobody comes and talks to you about what to do about your business, or maybe you've lost your job and you have no idea what to do with yourself anymore. You know, particularly in sarcomas, and you know, people have things taken off their arms, their legs. You know, I'm also a patient advocate, and I had a gentleman in one of my support groups come up to me one day and he said, they took off my leg and I was a construction worker and I have no idea what to do anymore. So part of my legacy, and I know Casey feels the same way, is that we want to introduce you to, or I do actually, a system of how to reinvent yourself in business, how to look at money, how to do some planning. I don't want you to ignore that at all. So it is my absolute pleasure to introduce my friend, my business mentor, networking riches, amazing human being, Casey Eberhart. He's brought products into the world. I'm going to let him introduce himself a little bit so we don't get off on a tangent.
And no, you know, and it's so funny. Amy and I, even before shooting this video, before the camera started rolling, we've been talking and just gabbing like two old friends. And that's really our purpose of being here today, is to just for us to share our conversation with you, and whatever that means to you and whatever you can glean from it. We're excited to have you here. The video is only going to be 7 hours long, so if you want to just pull up a glass of wine or
exactly,
you know whatever. No, you know, Amy, I just love for what you stand for, and I think so often it's weird because in society, it's almost like I feel like we have to put labels like patient or survivor or whatever, and it's hard for me because I look at all of us, we're all on a journey, every one of us, and at the end of the day, the end of the journey is the same for all of us. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is the same. It's just a question of when.
At the end of the day, you know, I love what Betty White says. The only real difference between everybody at the end of their journey is that some of us are going to get to know the secret a little ahead of time.
That's very true. Thank you for sharing that with me today.
You know, I mean, and so,
okay.
You know, while we're here visiting this planet or this earth, whatever your belief system is and whatever you think about, at the end of the day, there are some things that are really important, I think. And one of the things, I think you brought it up in kind of a little intro, is that legacy is important. Being able to have the freedom to go through that journey and be taken care of financially is also part of that journey.
Absolutely.
And if you can set up some systems or some processes ahead of time, then you're that much further along later on. And so, you know, I have a good friend of mine, and I this story just hit me so like in the heart that I think it's important that we talk about. So I have a friend of mine, and she and her husband had the American dream. Her husband was in the film and television industry. He retired. They pretty much sold everything they had. They packed it all up into an amazing RV, and they were going to tour around the world in an RV and just explore and be adventurous and just have the time of their lives in the last part of their journey. And something happened along the way, right? The truck lost a wheel. The truck lost an axle on the wheel, and that, for whatever reasons, triggered and sparked a journey that culminated with Mike finding out the secret. And he found out the secret on Christmas Eve.
I think I know who you're talking about.
And it hit me in the heart because my friend who I was actually closer to, the immediate thing that came to mind is, oh my gosh, she doesn't have a plan. She didn't have the setup or the system or the process in place 5 years ago, 10 years ago, so that she was even equipped in a financial sense or mentally to deal with what was in front of her with the journey and taking care of Mike and being by his bedside throughout the entire last few weeks of his journey with us. And I am just on a mission. I'm just hell-bent on talking to people about setting up something, whatever that looks like,
Exactly.
that allows you to have some freedom and some choice to not be backed into a corner and forced to make decisions. I stand for choice. And, you and I have worked together for a while, and my business coach taught me kind of this context for living from the day I walked into her class. And it was this, that life works, my life works, people and things work around me.
That's so true. Absolutely. And also, I've heard you say that a million times, and it is so true. And with that, I know you've heard me say that in cancer, what I call thrivership, there's the money aspect, the people aspect, the psychological aspect. And, it's just so important to sit down when something happens to you, not just cancer, but really anything.
Anything.
To be able to just sit down and have some kind of system where your immediate paperwork is done, your trust is done, you have some kind of financial plan in place, you have the right people around you to assist you, that you just really can create some kind of system around you so that your life can continue, because people could end up like me. When I say to people, I've had stage 4 cancer for over 10 years, and I've had my first diagnosis in 2001. I was 44, now I'm 57. They look at me like I'm nuts, and when I tell them I've had 20 major surgery, they think I'm crazy. They say, well, how do you do this? And it took me the first few years to really realize that, without even knowing it, I had a very defined system about how I did my life every day in the middle of all this medical craziness.
Well, I think what you've been an amazing example of is what most people do when they find out they're diagnosed with something, right? Whether it's cancer or some other ailment, we look around and we go, oh my gosh, and we start being a slave to doctors and family and work and all of this stuff. And pretty soon what you realize is, I use kind of an analogy of a wheel, that you're a spoke in a lot of people's wheel. You've got pathologists and oncologists and doctors and family, and you've got sons and daughters and all this stuff. But what you've been amazing at being able to create is taking the power back and creating yourself. Your context for living is you're the hub of your own wheel, and now all of these other things form that wheel around you as the hub. And what I see when I work with other folks in your situation is they still allow their life to be controlled by all of these outside entities. They're spokes in all these other people's wheel. And so when I say people and things work around you, what it really means is exactly what you've done, which is be able to take yourself and say, you know what, I am in charge here of this journey, and you all will talk to me about me. I am not going to come beg you. I am in control. And I've had many family members that have gone down this same journey, and what the main difference I've seen between all of them and you is that you've had the ability, wherever that's come from, you've had the ability to pull back and say, I'm in control of this, and you all answer to me. Where all of my family that's ended their journey with us, they all allowed the cancer or the brain tumor or the kid on drugs or whatever to rule them, and they're never in control. And so what I love about what you're doing in this kind of process that you're laying out for people is putting those systems in place and teaching people and training people and being with people and allowing them to take the control back and take the power back, whatever those mechanisms are, whether it's a business or investing or life insurance or network marketing or whatever fits for them. What you really stand for is taking a stand, and what you take a stand for is taking the control back into your own hands.
So what brought me to you, which is so funny that you say all this, was because I woke up one day, which is very common with a lot of people going through stuff, especially, cancer, is that they might wake up one day and go, this part of my life, reinventing myself in a new business, is not organized right now.
Right.
And I thought, oh my God, I'm actually going to live. It's seriously, people
Absolutely.
say that. You go through a certain period of time where you think you might not be here, so you stop doing certain things. And then one day I thought, I'm actually going to be here. I have to figure out how to make my business run better, or how to reinvent myself, or what is it that I really want to do for the rest of my life. So I realized that I had to sit down and organize, which is what brought me to you and what you do. So in your opinion, we've been working together a long time. And for all those other people out there who are thinking of reinventing themselves, you can do this in business when you lose your job. What are some tips that we could give people in reinventing themselves?
Absolutely. So
new?
I love that. So I always have a little bit of a hard time with the word reinvent yourself.
Okay.
Right? And that's only because, again, I so believe that we're all on a journey. Right? So really, I come from the Hollywood profession. So, we're all about scripts and story arcs and character arcs and all of that. And at the end of the day, script writers will sit and they'll write a screenplay. And they'll write a screenplay, and then at the end of the screenplay, live ever happily ever after, whatever. Or black screen and everybody goes and buys popcorn, whatever. But I don't think that's how life works. I think life works more in terms of not writing a novel with a beginning, middle, and end, or a three-act deal. It's much more like a choose-your-own-adventure book. And the choices that you make when you replay the conversation in your head from 5 years ago may impact a different decision that you make over here. And the great part about a choose-your-own-adventure book is it gets to be written in real time, right? So from a mechanic standpoint, I think you brought up a couple of really good points. I think everybody should get get your affairs in order.
Absolutely.
Pretty much when you come out of the womb, we should be started working on that.
We should start planning in our 20s, actually.
Exactly.
But we're all doing other things.
We have other stuff to do in our 20s.
Exactly.
You talked about smoking pot. I mean, let's right, but
that's for the next video.
That's the next video, right? Stay tuned. I just had a whole good joke there, but I'll let it go.
Okay,
but you know what? Look, there are some mechanisms to help set yourself up, right?
Yes.
I think it's important that you have your estate in order, whether you go with a will or a trust or a will and a trust. I think that needs to be a conversation. I think we should have some insurance.
Exactly. There is a conversation coming on that in another video.
Yeah, I think you need to have some insurance. But then I also think, I happen to love the mechanism of network marketing. And the reason why I love the mechanism of network marketing is in most cases, it allows people to build a stream of income at whatever pace they want, at whatever level they want, and allows them to fluidly move in and out of that organization. So network marketing is sometimes referred to as MLM, sometimes it's called network marketing, but it's really kind of this premise of we've got some products and we refer those products to our friends and our family, and every time that we sell a product to one of our friends or family or use our influence to our friends and family, instead of the company spending the money on advertising and marketing, they're simply going to pay you a little piece of that profit of that item. And then the more word of mouth referrals you bring back to the company, the bigger your check is, essentially.
And also, Casey happens to be incredible with network marketing. He's been in it a million years.
I don't look a million years old, and that's because I use network marketing products on my face. I'm really 107.
Okay, but also...
Okay, fine, 108.
But also we talk about being able to sit at a desk. If you can sit at a desk and you understand social media, in addition to network marketing, there's a ton of things. If you can pick up a phone, there's ways to reinvent yourself.
Yeah, that's what's so great is that it's all a journey, right? So if you're on social media, we were just talking before the camera went on that I look at Facebook as a legacy project for me. When I leave, I want the people around me to have access to what's in my brain. Whether that's good, bad, or indifferent, we can have that different conversation.
It's good, it's okay.
But yeah, if you can pick up the phone and you can reach out and have a conversation with somebody, if you can volunteer, that's adding value to the world. at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, I look at it this way, that each of us has a dash on our tombstone,
Exactly.
right? The day we were born, the day that we found out the secret, and everything in between is described as a dash. I live my life with one core premise, and that is making my dash as thick and as full as possible, and doing so for as many people as I possibly can. So whether that means investing in somebody else's business, whether that means helping people get through a tough time, whether that means a network marketing business, whether that means learning about the stock market and investing, whether that means reaching out and helping somebody get their social media in order, it's actually kind of fun when you think about it.
It's more than fun. It's hilarious.
It's hilarious
It's a lot of fun.
because there's something that happens when we hear a diagnosis from a doctor who's just a dude or a chick in a white coat that's taken some years of practice, and they're looking at some X-ray thingy and they're telling us what happens. When that occurs, the best part is somehow all of the stuff that we've been taught and told and rules and regulations seems to go away.
It absolutely goes away.
It's like, oh yeah, you know what? I've had 20 cancer tumors removed. You really think you're going to honk that horn at me and get my goat?
Exactly.
Please. You know what I mean?
So thank you for coming. I don't know how long this video is supposed to be. So,
and you guys, let me just say this before Amy wraps it up. Amy is an amazing individual,
Nice.
and there are very, very few people that have ever been in our presence that has the gifts and what she brings to the table. So all I'm going to say is, I don't care what we have to do, you got to get in touch with Amy. You absolutely deserve to know her. So Amy, I just want to say thank you for being my friend. Thank you for being in my space. And more importantly, thank you for allowing the world to be in your space.
Oh, thank you so much. And really my goal for everyone is to create a system really that you can keep going no matter what's going on in your life. I mean, that's really my goal. We're going to talk about money in future videos. We're going to talk about a lot of different issues in cancer, even little videos on how to talk to your doctor and make a proper appointment, how to get second opinions, how to do all kinds of things. So thank you for watching this video. If you want to get a hold of me, you can email me at amyreg, AMYREG, at AOL.com. If you want me to speak to your group, I want you to find me on Facebook, Amy Regenstreif. And Casey, I can't thank you enough for today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. See you next video.